Right now, we are living through a massive, fundamental shift. The entire tech world is pivoting, moving away from the hardware dreams that literally built Silicon Valley and plunging headfirst into the wild, uncertain new world of artificial intelligence. So in this explainer, we're going to unpack what this huge pivot really means by looking at the lessons of the past, the cracks appearing in the present, and the strange new reality of our future. And this quote? This is the key. This one idea unlocks just about every story of success and failure in technology. See, it's never just about having a brilliant idea. It's about launching that idea at the exact right moment. We're going to see how this simple rule created a legend and how it's shaping the AI revolution for all of us right now.
So, to really get a grip on where we're going, we first have to look back. Our story starts with an absolute giant in the gaming industry, a man whose work holds some incredibly important lessons for us today.
Let's talk about Hideki Sato. This was the engineering genius, the mastermind behind Sega's most legendary consoles. If you've ever played a Sega Genesis or the Dreamcast, you've held his work in your hands. He really embodied this era of bold, ambitious, maybe even reckless engineering that went right up against the dominance of Nintendo.
And this really gets to the heart of the difference between then and now. Sato's whole philosophy was about taking huge risks and pushing the hardware to its absolute breaking point. You remember blast processing? That wasn't just marketing hype. It was a conscious engineering choice to prioritize the raw speed of the processor over, say, its ability to show a wider range of colors. Today, it's a different game. The focus is much more on safe, profitable, market-tested features and rock-solid platform stability. And this timeline just shows you how timing is everything. The Genesis was a smash hit because its speed was the right innovation at the perfect time. But the Dreamcast was brilliant, but it was a tragedy of timing. It had a built-in modem for online gaming almost a full decade before the market was actually ready for it. And because of that, Sato had to make that agonizing call, get out of the hardware business entirely and become a software company, a pivot that ultimately saved Sega.
Okay, so let's fast forward. How do those lessons from the 90s apply to our world today? Well, we're seeing very similar kinds of challenges and potential failures in the massive digital infrastructure that our entire online lives depend on. That recent global outage on X is a perfect example of the dangers of putting all your eggs in one basket. This wasn't just one server going down. No, it was a cascade failure, a chain reaction that started from a single point. Think of the API gateway as the one and only front door to a massive skyscraper. When that door gets jammed, in this case likely because of a rushed migration to new servers to save money, nobody can get in or out. The entire platform just goes dark. It's a huge, flashing warning sign about the need for platform diversity. And, this demand for systems that are more robust and have more substance isn't just a tech infrastructure thing. We're seeing this exact same sentiment in entertainment. In gaming, players are tired of superficial flash. They are craving deep, complex systems and real freedom to make their own choices. Think about massive, sprawling worlds like Baldur's Gate 3 or the incredible physics sandbox in Tears of the Kingdom. They want that over games that just look pretty in a cutscene but feel empty to actually play. Which brings us to the biggest, most disruptive pivot of all, artificial intelligence. AI is just a field of incredible paradoxes. It's deeply mysterious, it's unbelievably expensive, and yet, it has somehow become absolutely necessary. Just listen to this quote from the CEO of Anthropic, one of the top AI labs in the world. It is incredibly telling. What he's saying is that even the people building these things don't fully get them. The old idea of AI is just a stochastic parrot, a complex mimic that's just good at predicting the next word. That's not the whole story anymore, not even close. We're seeing these emergent behaviors, things the AI seems to learn on its own, that are shocking the very people who created it. So while we're wrestling with these huge philosophical questions about AI consciousness, we're also slamming into its very real, very physical limits. AI models are unbelievably power-hungry. They consume a staggering amount of electricity, and that's creating a massive bottleneck for the entire industry. And that's exactly why a company like C2I can raise $15 million. They're not building a fancy new AI model. They're solving a brutal fundamental physics problem. Right, so here's the thing you have to understand. The new gold rush in AI isn't just in the code. It's in the physical world. It's in the infrastructure. C2I's whole deal is this grid-to-GPU tech that delivers power more efficiently, cutting down the energy that's wasted between the power plant and the actual computer chip. We're talking up to 15% less waste. For a giant data center, that's not just a small saving. That can be hundreds of millions of dollars. So you have this mysterious, incredibly expensive, power-hungry technology, and yet, for businesses, It's not even a choice anymore. A recent report found that a staggering 83% of multinational execs say they simply can't operate effectively without AI. The pivot to AI isn't optional, it's a matter of survival. So why? Why is it so essential? The answer comes down to two words: regulatory complexity. The global landscape of business, with its constantly shifting tariffs, taxes, sanctions, and rules, has become too complex for the human brain to handle. For a company to compete, it needs something called compliance agility, the ability to see a new rule and adapt almost instantly. And frankly, only AI can move that fast. Okay, so we've looked at the lessons from Sega's hardware dreams, the cracks in today's platforms, and the weird paradox of AI. So what does this all mean? What are the new rules of the road for navigating this massive shift in technology? Here's what it boils down to. Rule number 1. Platform diversity is an absolute must. Single points of failure are deadly. Rule 2. Substance wins. Deep, meaningful systems will always beat superficial flash in the long run. Rule 3. We have to start treating AI less like a simple tool and more like a new kind of digital entity where safety is paramount. Rule 4. The real money is now in physical infrastructure. Power and cooling are the new gold mines. And finally, Rule 5. The ability to adapt to complex rules, compliance agility, is the ultimate competitive advantage. So we've come full circle. Hideki Sato had to make a painful pivot from hardware to software. Two things that are, at the end of the day, pretty predictable. But the pivot we're in the middle of today is from predictable lines of code to unpredictable, emergent intelligence. And that leaves us with one big question. Are we any more ready for this pivot than the world was for the Dreamcast?